Me Bend Your Ear podcast. My name is Frank. I'm the host of the show. This is the second recording of the day, doing a little back-to-back like I did last week. I just reviewed Cocaine Bear, so check that out on the podcast feed or on the YouTube channel. This episode, I'm going to review M3GAN. Now, this came out a couple months ago. It's still playing in the theaters. It is now streaming on Peacock, so I was able to check it out. So I'm going to talk about that film today. But before we do, again, as always, housekeeping. This is a movie podcast where I discuss and review movies new and old. You can watch the podcast at the following locations. The YouTube channel, subscribe there. You'll get notifications when the show goes live. Or you can watch it on demand. That is at Let Me Bend Your Ear podcast. You can watch the show on Twitter. The Twitter handle is at Bend Your Ear Pod. If you go to the profile, the most recent episode will be the pin profile. Or you can click like and you can watch any of the back episodes that have been recorded for Twitter there as well. You can also watch it on Facebook. The Facebook page is Let Me Bend Your Ear. If you could like that page, that'd be great. All the episodes that have been recorded are there as well. And on Instagram, you can watch the first 10 minutes. Why? Because that's all I can upload at this point until I find a better workaround to stream there. You'll get the first 10 minutes and then you can always finish it over at YouTube, Twitter, or on Facebook. Thank you. And the show can be heard wherever you get your podcast. So if you listen on a podcasting app, I would request that you rate and review. Hopefully you give it 5 stars because you enjoy it, and then that'll help the show get more attention when people are searching for new movie podcasts to listen to. So if you could do that, I would really appreciate it. The website, of course, I would encourage everyone to go to the website. It is letmebendyourear.com. All the episodes are available all the way back to episode 1 are there. Links to the video episodes are there as well. It'll link you over to the YouTube, or you can watch it actually within the website. It's embedded there. So if you want to watch, you can do everything there at the website. You can listen to the podcast and you can watch it just there at the website if you don't use a podcasting app. You can download the audio episodes if you want as well. You don't need a podcasting app to do that. You can download it to your PC, to your phone, and it'll just play as an audio file. So feel free to do that if you prefer. And if you want to email the show, the email is bendyourearpodcast@gmail.com. Any thoughts about the show, any movies you'd like me to review, or just any conversation you want to have about movies, I love it. So if you could do that, that'd be great as well. Okay, let's get into the latest review. So I watched last night M3GAN, which is directed by Gerard Johnstone. I'm not familiar with him as a director. I don't know if this is his first film or not. I do not know. I didn't do the research into that. But the plot of M3GAN is this. At the beginning of the film, we have a couple, husband and wife, and their young daughter who's in the back. And they're going up to, looks like a ski lodge to go skiing. And unfortunately, there is a head-on collision that kills both the parents. The daughter is injured. And we find out that her aunt is Gemma, played by Allison Williams, and she is sent to go live with her aunt. So Gemma is a toy manufacturer, or she works for a toy manufacturer. That's probably a better way to describe it. So at the beginning of the film, her niece is actually playing with a kind of almost like a souped up Tamagotchi, if you remember that. It's a pet that talks, that you can kind of interact with, an interactive toy. So Gemma is trying to come up with the next level of toy, a toy that not only does it interact at specific commands, but it can actually respond and think and learn from the person that it's with. So with this terrible event happening and her having custody of her niece, this is happening just as she's trying to get something launched. And so she's under a lot of pressure, with the situation with her niece, with her job. So she has a conversation with her niece, and her niece says something that kind of triggers a reinvigoration of her trying to get this higher level toy involved. So basically her niece tells her, because she finds out about M3GAN, and basically says, if I had something like this, I would never need another toy again. So she goes into full gear, Gemma does, gets the mock-up ready. They present it to the CEO of the company, and of course everybody's going crazy of what the money they could make with it. So basically she creates M3GAN, and of course M3GAN is an acronym for Model 3 Generation Android. So that's the acronym for M3GAN. So That's the basic plot of the film. So, like I said, Gemma has her help of her two assistants, and they are in the process of trying to get this up and running to get it sold to the public. So, as M3GAN is bonding with the niece Katie, played by Violet McGraw, it's becoming more creepy, as the term comes in. If you've seen the trailers, you know. So her overriding order in the programming is to make the person she's with happy and to protect them. So of course, if you've seen this kind of movie before, or if you see a movie, whether it's a cyborg or a robot or some kind of artificial intelligence, you know that there's several tropes that are in play. The AI becoming sentient, or something going wrong. So as they bond together, a couple of things happen. The niece is more and more adversarial with her aunt Gemma because she's bonding with M3GAN and not with Gemma. So she's becoming disobedient, becoming stubborn, and not wanting to do anything without M3GAN, because M3GAN is basically taken over as the person that's caring for her. And Katie loves her and loves M3GAN as not just a toy, but as a friend and as basically as a person, when M3GAN, of course, is not a person. And M3GAN, on the other hand, is taking her role as protector that she's been programmed to, obviously to levels that are unacceptable. So any perceived, real or imagined danger that she sees Katie might be in, she is going to react, and she is going to protect her at all costs. So if you've seen the previews for M3GAN, none of this I'm saying is spoilers. I think it's pretty straightforward what type of movie this is. The performances are good. Allison Williams is good. Like I said, Denise Katie, she does a really good job as well. The other actors in the movie, it's kind of generic in the sense, they're fine. There were no other performances that really stood out to me. The actress playing M3GAN, does a good job. If you've from what I've read, obviously, it's an actress playing her. They do there's some makeup, or CGI to augment her features to make her look, to me, really creepy. Actually, kind of human, but kind of like a doll, because it's supposed to be she's covered silicone skin over the endoskeleton is covered by silicone. So that's well done. And then it's voiced by an older actress, I think, and that voices M3GAN. So again, it's a pretty typical movie. Like I said, I was entertained by it. I didn't think it was outstanding, but I thought it was entertaining for what it was. It's a fun movie about toys going out of control. It tries to make a deeper statement about toys that interact with children replacing actual friends or parents or people or human interaction in a kid's life, screen time and things like that. So they try to throw in some social commentary about the amount of screen time kids have and the dependence that children have on electronics as opposed to human interaction, which is a legitimate thing to talk about, which is something, I have kids myself. We definitely limit their screen time. So it's something that's applicable to today's times. And the movie comments on that, but it's not a deep, penetrating indictment of what we do. It's really more a fun kind of what if, worst case scenario movies, which a lot of fun movies are. So like I said, it wasn't great, but it was entertaining. That movie clocks in about, I think, an hour and 41 minutes. So it's not, again, just like the movie I just reviewed, Cocaine Bear, not very long, doesn't overstay its welcome. It goes, the climax of the movie is fun. It's it's not anything that's unpredictable or anything like that. I did read that I think there's going to be a sequel. I know the movie did really, really well. I did check. I know on Rotten Tomatoes, it scored really high fan-wise and did actually score pretty well, I think, critic-wise too, if I remember right. So I know it's a popular film. It's fun. Like I said, it's entertaining. It's, like I said, it's not great, but it's not it's not a waste of time if you like that type of film. So like I said, I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. If you go with that attitude going into it, if you go into it looking for more, you'll probably be disappointed. But like I said, a lot of fun. Some funny moments in there, some creepy moments. Obviously, when the thing that was funny to me was, I think, and maybe it's a criticism, I guess, I don't know. I think because M3GAN is supposed to power down when Katie goes to sleep at night. So Katie's in her bed, and there's like I forgot what they call those, maybe a bay window where you could sit, and then the window's laid into the wall. So M3GAN, along with other stuffed animals, is just sitting there powered down at night. That looked terrifying to me. So I know that the girl latched on to M3GAN. She's dealing with a lot of trauma, and M3GAN is that. I just don't understand how she wouldn't be even a little bit creeped out. And she wasn't. I don't know if that, like I said, that might be a criticism. I think most kids, not every kid, but I think a lot of kids with the way M3GAN looks, they make her look with real hair, but it's that blank, creepy doll look that creeped me out. So I'm like, this is horrifying to me. But again, I guess there's a lot of little girls that like dolls and they wouldn't be creeped out by that, I guess. I don't know. Personally, to me, even when I saw the previews of this movie, I'm like, she looks terrifying. Like that, even though she comes out, she talks with the sweetest voice and as a friend to her. But looking at her, even when she's delivering that beautiful stuff and she sings a song, which is actually funny because it almost makes it like a Disney movie, but it was pretty funny. But it's still, all of that to me was creepy. So I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority there. That whole situation is terrifying, even before M3GAN goes off the rails and does what she ends up doing. But again, entertaining, not great, not terrible. It was, it was an okay movie. So based on that, I'm going to go ahead and give M3GAN 3 Van Goghs out of 5. So on that scale for me, that's probably a mild recommendation. If you're into that type of movie, check it out. If it's not your cup of tea, you probably won't enjoy it that much. Like I said, it was fine. It was enjoyable. It had its moments. I don't know if it's a movie I would see again. So for me, I mean, if I'm giving anything into the 4 or 5 territory, definitely at least 4 is a movie that I would watch over and over again. And this is not one that I would. And that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It just means that it's just one I probably would not revisit. But like I said, it's fine for what it does and fine for what it is. So like I said, I'm going to give it 3 Van Goghs out of 5. The movie is still playing in theaters now. And like I said, I was able to watch it because it started streaming, I think, this Friday on Peacock. So if you have Peacock, you can watch it now. It's an unrated version. I don't know what the difference is. I haven't seen any other version of it. So I don't know if it's more violence, gore. I have no idea why it's unrated. But I don't think it's anything major that would be different from the theatrical experience of the film. I don't think there's anything major that was put back in that wouldn't be in the theatrical version. So again, I'm going to give M3GAN 3 stars out of 5. Directed by Gerard, Johnstone, in theaters and on Peacock streaming right now. So again, this is Let Me Bend Your Ear podcast. I am Frank, the host. I discuss and review movies new and old. You can listen to this podcast wherever you get podcasts. Please rate and review so the show can get more eyeballs on it and ears listening to it. I'd appreciate that. And again, you can watch the show on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The website is letmebendyourear.com. The email is bendyourearpodcast@gmail.com. And I want to give myself congratulations for actually getting the email right on the first try. This might be the first time in the history of this podcast that I was able to do that. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but the way I've been butchering that thing, it's a big deal to me. So I'm just going to congratulate myself on that. So again, thank you for watching. I want to thank everybody that's downloaded the show. I really appreciate that. When I see the downloads, it really makes me happy. I really love talking about movies, and for me it's very special when I see those downloads, because in a perfect world I'd be able to have guests on and do interviews, and I will do them sporadically, but the nature of what I do, my job, and having young kids, it's really hard to try to commit to someone to try to do an interview. I'm going to try to do more of them because they're fun, and I know they're fun to listen to. So when people do interact with the podcast, when it's just me flying solo and download and listen to the episodes, I am very, very appreciative of that. So thank you so much. I want to let you know I never take that for granted, and every listener and every download I love and I appreciate. So thank you so much for doing that. Like I said, I've been doing this podcast now. Actually, this summer it'll be 5 years. So this is one of the longest things that I've committed to, and it's been so much fun. I don't get to do it as much as I want. I think hopefully I'm starting to find a flow where I can get these episodes out more consistently, more content for you to enjoy, and hopefully you enjoy my reviews. But again, feel free to interact with me at Bend Your Ear. At Bend Your Ear Pod for Twitter, or specifically email me bendyourearpodcast@gmail.com if you have movies you'd like me to review. suggest for the show, I'll definitely take those into account and maybe review some listener requests. So I will definitely look into that if somebody wants to do that. So again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for downloading. I really appreciate everyone that interacts with this podcast. Like I said, it truly makes me happy. I love doing it. I do it because I love it. I do it because I love talking movies. So again, thank you everyone. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care, and I will see you very soon.